We should be. We are live on Twitter. All right, folks, welcome to Gamcast for Friday evening. We're here to talk about the Supreme Court's recent ruling in with respect to an Arizona law, and also to let you know that the Supreme Court is not a Supreme Court, conservative Supreme Court. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started and have Fox News tell us what happened. And they're wrong, by the way. I love Vivek, but he's wrong about this.
Joining us now is Vivek Ramaswamy, former GOP presidential candidate. Vivek, just in, the Supreme Court has just ruled in a 5-4 decision, giving partial victory to Republicans trying to enforce proof of citizenship when voting in Arizona. Looks like they did not grant a stay, and that law is going to go into effect. Thoughts tonight?
Well, I think that's an obvious development, but the fact that that was controversial tells you where we are. It was 5-4. The fact that 4 liberal justices went the other way show that you have a Supreme Court that even still looks at the end and works backwards.
All right, folks, let me tell you what's going on here. Vivek's just wrong about that. Arizona had a law. It did a lot of things. One, it changed the rules. You had to provide proof of citizenship to vote. Before the law came into effect, as a 2022 law, so it was passed after 2020, you could vote, or you could register to vote just for federal elections without providing proof of citizenship. It also provided that the Attorney General could investigate. It also provided that county clerks could reject ballots. So there were a lot of things that went into effect. The only thing the Supreme Court enjoined, 5 justices, by the way, was the fact that the new registration, so registrations going on from yesterday forward, you can't do that without providing proof of citizenship. All the rest of the stuff is on hold. So, and I'm going to walk you through all that. But before I do that, please, if you would, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That really does help us out a lot. So here's a order, and this is a shadow docket order. It's also called the non-merits docket. Why is it called that? It's called that because these are petitions, emergency petitions that come up to the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court is not in session. You do not have the normal briefing rules. You do not have the normal oral argument rules. So these things are not briefed as much as they would be. It came to Justice Kagan, as you'll see here at the very beginning. Why? Because she is the circuit justice over the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. She could have made this decision on her own. Increasingly, the justices will not. They will refer it to the entire court. That's what she did here. And you see, the application for stay presented to Justice Kagan and by her referred to the entire court is granted in part, denied in part. So what was granted? What was granted was, if you want to register from this day going forward in Arizona, you cannot do that. They're going to let the law say you got to provide proof of citizenship. As to all the other things I said the law did, for example, making you require proof of citizenship to actually vote, not just register, but to vote, that cannot go into effect. That is still stayed because the lower court stayed it and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals stayed it. Now here's real quick why we do not have a Supreme Court. You'll see there were 3 justices that would have granted the application in full. Translation, they would have said the entire 2022 law can go into effect, right? Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch. So what does that mean? That means to get to 5, you had to have Chief Justice Roberts and Kavanaugh. And they just said, no, if you've already registered, you can go ahead and vote. Only to the new people who wanted to register who haven't registered until now. Now you see Justice Barrett over there, she joined the leftists. And just so you understand where I get this from, one, you have to understand what's going on here. Why is it that illegals were able to do this? Well, it's real quick. You remember the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. Bill Clinton is also known as the Motor Voter Bill. When you go register, you get a license, or you go get some welfare, anything you get, you're able to say, would you like to register? Now states will automatically register you. Well, the leftists, and I think they have somewhat of a point here, to be fair, and our friend Mark Elias, who those of you who follow me know, he is a fascist Democrat. He rigs these things as much as he can, but he is correct in this, in his analysis, that it was only a partial victory, right? Because they were able to keep these things. And I want to leave you with this, just so you understand how far ahead these people are than the Republican or conservatives or whatever you want to call them, okay? The Motor Voter Bill in 1993, it didn't require citizenship to vote. It just required you to say you were a citizen, right? They were way ahead of us even back then, way before the waves came. Anyway, if you enjoyed this material, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do, you'll see me on the next one.